everything is relative, and I understand that, but I was one day cleaning some files in Mr. Fry's office, former office, and I think I came across a paper where the board was in the process of starting interviews for the superintendent back in 1998. This is an article, and I just want to read the opening part of it. Appeared in the Forest Blade on September 16, 1998. Emanuel County Board of Education has tentatively approved its fiscal year 1999 millage rate at 10.5 mills, the same rate as last year. Action was taken in Monday night's regular meeting. The 10.5 mills is for maintenance and operation of the school system. The board has no millage rate for capital outlay, which we do not now, and a 1% special purpose local option sales tax was enacted last year for capital outlay, as we still have now. My point is not to belittle by any means the severity of this increase, but just to say that this board has done a tremendous job. That was 11 years ago, and we're only $0.5 mil above where we were 11 years ago. And you say, well, maybe the tax digest has gone up, and it has. But I'm going to ask Mr. Eza in a minute to discuss that, and it has gone up, but it has lagged behind the state average during this time. So I just want to commend the board and the community for keeping the quality of education going without having to do this before now. The only problem is we don't see options going forward at this point without that. I want to give you some sampling of budget reductions that we've enacted since last spring and continue this summer. These budget reductions total $2.6 million. We've hired, that number may be even low, Mrs. Wilkes can probably correct it, but I know at least 7 people we've moved from local into federal stimulus money. When we got stimulus money from the federal government, it was for the purpose mostly to save jobs. And so we were able to move some people off of our local back and put it on the back of the federal government and maintain positions. We've eliminated or reduced many local extended day, extended year, and extra duty supplements, coming right off of the salaries of teachers within our district. And didn't want to do that, but we're faced with that. Director of Student Service position at the board was eliminated, and we have reduced 1 assistant principal to transfer high school. We eliminated 8 classified positions. Special education supplements have been eliminated. 5 part-time positions were eliminated. 4 teaching positions were not rehired. We have withdrawn from the tech services through RESA. We're having all of our technical support in-house now. Teachers were furloughed 3 days. I furloughed myself and all other administrators working 220 days, 5 days. We are reducing what the Board of Education pays for dental and disability insurance for our teachers. And anyway, we've cut $2.6 million since last spring. I want to show you our state revenue comparison for the last 3 years. This first column is what the formula, the QBE formula should provide for us, and this is what we actually are getting. In FY08, you'll see that our mid-year adjustment in 08, we actually got a little more from the state than they initially awarded us. In 09, we dropped approximately $1 million. But look at the 2 stars. That's after we picked up $500,000 in stimulus money. So we really dropped $1.5 million, and stimulus stars back up to only losing $1 million. In FY10, which started July 1, just a month ago, 3 weeks into this fiscal year, we took a cut from of about $1 million, and it's grown now from what we were promised in the formula to receive in FY10. And that includes, that number there includes $1.2 million in stimulus money. Together, just since February, just 6 months ago, Emanuel County has received $3.8 million less in the state than we were planning. And here's the kicker. We commit ourselves to most of our budget back in the winter, early spring, when contracts are issued for teachers. Once those contracts are in place, our hands are tied on most of our budget. 90% of our local budget is personnel and benefits. If things get much, much worse, we may be looking at a RIF situation with certified people. There's a way within the law to do that, but it is unbelievably tedious and will probably cost us more money in legal fees than we could ever save by doing it. We are committed to our budget, the biggest part of our budget, before these cuts came to pass. And that puts us in an incredible bind. This is a slide here that just explains this in more detail. I won't go through it all together, but this is the different ways we receive local and state money. Local fair share is your, how should I say that, Doug? The 5 mills, is.
That's the part that you have to pay towards the quality-based amount of money.
And so they subtract that basically out of what they would give us, and that's the parentheses around the 2 million, 2.0 million there. You see transportation money, sparsity, equalization, and over here is where you'll see where we have taken most of our hits, and Mr. Edith's going to speak to equalization in a minute. We should this year receive 3.3 million in equalization. We're slated right now, assuming the governor doesn't do more, at 1.9. I'm not going to blame the governor. I'll tell you this, though. He has power, authority to change that number without the legislature, the equalization grant. And that's what has cut us mostly in the past 2 years. The bottom line, again, is less in 09 of $1 million, less already, 1 month into this fiscal year of 2.5 million, and you see a total there. I'm going to ask Mr. Easter to come to the mic and explain this. This goes back to FY02. It talks about the amount of money that we were provided for operations at that time provided now. Mr. Easter, if you don't mind.